On Easter Saturday, my wife asked me could I do a little edge trimming. Normally I always wear a pair of gumboots, but on this occasion, thinking it's only just a quick round the letterbox out the front, I just left my thongs on, which was the big mistake. I felt this enormous stinging pain in the arch of my foot, and that's when I looked down, and just where the strap on my thong was, there was the spider, and it had just latched in, bit me right on the arch of my foot, and that's when I noticed, wow, that I'd been bitten, and I recognised straight away that it was a funnel web. I kicked out my foot thinking I'd kicked the spider off. That didn't happen. Then I kicked a second time, my thong came off and the spider still stayed attached to the bottom of my foot. With that, I just lashed out at it and hit it off with my hand. The spider went into the grass, and I tried to look around to find it, because I knew you're supposed to try and get the spider and take it with you. I have to admit I don't know what I would have put it in, because I only had my hands. With that, after when I couldn't see it, I just shot up the back steps. I came up into the lounge room and just said to my boys and my wife that I'd been bitten by a funnel web, and to get the first aid kit. With that, I then reached over and grabbed a pen, and I drew a circle round the spider bite that I could still see, quite plainly on my foot. And my boys got me down the first aid kit, and I grabbed the bandage out of it. And with doing surf lifesaving, I had a bit of an idea that I had to put a pressure bandage on, which I did. Just kept it as tight as I possibly could. As soon as I finished bandaging my leg, I knew not to move as much as possible, or as least as possible. Grabbed the keys to the car. My wife said she'd drive. My son helped, or both my sons helped me out to the car so I wouldn't walk on my leg, and try to move as least as possible. And we just got into the car and drove straight towards Gosford Hospital. My son was checking with me and asking me how I felt. The first symptom I felt was an incredible headache. The pain in my head was just intense. With that, I started to get a real tightness in the chest. We pulled straight into the front of emergency department, and my son lifted me into the wheelchair so I wouldn't move my leg and my toes. He was saying don't move whatsoever to try and stop it from flowing. And he wheeled me straight up to the emergency section. With that, there was people at the counter, but he just mentioned that my dad's been bitten by a funnel web, and they just opened up the doors straight away. The triage nurse immediately just started to ask me some questions. She said to me straight away, I'm not going to tell you what you're supposed to be feeling. You'll have to tell me, she said, because otherwise you'll imagine the symptoms. So she said, just sit there, explain to me all your symptoms, what the spider looked like, whether have you seen one before, do you know what a funnel web looks like? Straight away after I'd been through a number of things, she said, yeah, we need to move you into a room. Once they moved me into the room, a doctor came in to see me. He asked me similar questions, and he did say, look, we're not going to remove the bandage, because funnel webs do sometimes have a dry bite. So he said the last thing we want to do is give you the anti-venom if it is a dry bite. He said, so we need to check you. So they went for my blood pressure straight away. They started to put needles in. I know your blood pressure's starting to come up. We're going to take the bandage off now. He did describe to me then that once you take the bandage off, it will go through your system fairly fast. And then within a matter of, it felt like just seconds, he said to me, no, your blood pressure's getting too dangerous. My headache was getting a lot worse, and my blood pressure was raising dramatically. The nurse asked me how many fingers she had up, and I said 4 straight away, but my wife and son said to me they only had 2. The lights in the ceiling were going very blurry. Remember, the last lot of things the doctor said to me was, no, your blood pressure's getting too high, we're going to give you the antivenom.